Hey, what's up, guys? This is Walter, and this is the Blue versus Green show. So, after probably what seems to be a long period of just hearing Aaron Rodgers in the news and, you know, talk of leverage, I got to be honest, I am sick and tired of hearing that word leverage. The minute that this trade goes down, I'll be glad to never use the word leverage ever again. I mean, just scrolling on Twitter and watching Packers fans talking about how the Packers have leverage and some of the insane, just really insane deal makings that some of the Packers fans are just throwing around Twitter. I mean, I've seen everything from, oh, we want your first round pick, we want your second round pick, send us, Sauce Gardner, Quentin Williams, Jermaine Johnson. I put on Twitter, I'm like, what's next? Are you going to be asking for the Statue of Liberty, the New York Ferry, 20 boxes of Brooklyn pizza? Come on, guys, let's be for real here. We're talking about a 39-year-old quarterback, and I don't want to hear you know, the thought of, oh, well, you guys are desperate for a quarterback. Your quarterbacks are Christian Hackenberg and, Mark Sanchez. That has no bearing on negotiations. I'm pretty sure Joe D is not answering questions about, whether we had Kenny O'Brien as one of our quarterbacks way back in the day, and that's why we have to give you a first round pick. So, Packers Nation, just stop it. Really, I mean, you guys are being utterly ridiculous. A 39-year-old with one step out the door, who may play for us 1 year, and you're asking for uh, two first round picks, three second round picks, and Robert Sala's daughters. Give me a break. That's not what we're here to talk about. Because earlier today, probably around noontime, we get news that the New York Jets have signed Mecole Hardman from the Kansas City Chiefs to a 1 year, I believe it's a $6 million year, a deal. Okay, that was exciting news, and I know we're looking at it. He's not a number one. Let's be honest, guys. He was, when I heard the news, I thought that we were talking about a Braxton Berrios replacement. A good number four with a lot of speed. I mean, if you look at the measurables, this guy's right up there with Tyreek Hill. He runs a 4.3340, which is not that far off what Tyreek Hill is does. So, he brings an insane amount of speed to that wide receiver room. And you know what? He's probably going to play on special teams. He's probably going to be a guy that either returns, punts, or kicks. But with that speed factor, that brings yet another facet to the Jet offense that started when we brought in Alan Lazard. So now we have, Garrett Wilson, who is pretty much entrenched as our number one guy. We have Alan Lazard, who is a perfect complement to him in the end zone, in the red zone. Go up, throw the ball, let him go get it, let him cook, so to speak. Um, and Elijah Moore. Oh, wait a second. Elijah Moore. Elijah Moore. And the reason I pause is because less than an hour later, we also get the news. I believe it was broken by Adam Schefter, that Elijah Moore, along with the third round pick of the New York Jets, was traded today to Cleveland for their second round pick, which is a 42nd. So as it stands right now, for the third time in 3 years with the Jets now have three picks in the top 50, which is amazing, just completely amazing. But it comes at the expense of Elijah Moore. So right now we're standing with, in the first round, the 13th pick of the draft, and in the second round we have both the 42nd and the 43rd. Now, when the trade originally happened, I think, like most Jets fans, we're like, it was just shock, because we're literally coming off of picking up a pretty decent player in Mecole Hardman. He's He's exciting just for the speed aspect alone. But then right after that, we hear that Elijah Moore is gone. And Elijah Moore, 2-year guy, been with the Jets, shown flashes of really exciting play. So my initial thought was, wow, you know, it would have been awesome to see a wide receiver room um, that is catching balls from Aaron Rodgers, a wide receiver room that was including Garrett Wilson, Alan Lazard, Elijah Moore, Mecole Hardman, Corey Davis. That was exciting. But then after the initial shock kind of set in, um, I started thinking about it a little bit more. And Jets fans, let's not forget who Elijah Moore showed himself to be last year. Because as exciting of a player that we thought we were getting in year one, we kind of saw what Elijah Moore could possibly be for us in year two. And it wasn't a good look. Because if you remember, right in the midst of a streak where the Jets were, I believe, either winning 4 out of 5 or in the midst of a 5-game winning streak, just after, I believe the game was when they beat the Packers, which is something that the Jets haven't done in a long time, Elijah Moore comes out and requests a trade. Talk about bad timing. Talk about not reading the room. Talk about not a good look on the players' side, where your team is all bought in and your team is winning, and your takeaway is, I'm not getting enough balls. And we also had that very public display of anger with Mike LaFleur during practice. And we also have Robert Saleh saying we let him leave to calm down, and then proceeded not to play him basically for the next 3 games. I mean, I believe he got like 2 targets somewhere mixed in there. I think I get the sense that maybe Joe Douglas walked into the locker room today, or whenever this whole thing started, and he said, you know what? I like the fact that we get an additional second round pick here, because if we have to turn it around and give that to placate Green Bay in the Aaron Rodgers deal, maybe it'd be a good idea to have an extra second round pick, that if we get rid of one, we still have our first rounder and we still have a second round where we can get impactful players here. And he probably looked at that and he said, you know what? We are bringing in people here. We're bringing playmakers. We're bringing guys that want to be here. Is Elijah Moore all in? Or is he going to be one of these guys where come week 4 or 5 and we're winning games, presumably Aaron Rodgers is here, and we're winning games, and the ball's getting thrown around all over the place, and maybe Elijah Moore goes a week without getting a catch, or maybe Elijah Moore gets 4 targets in a game. We've already seen this happen once last year. Who's to say it's not going to happen again? And I think Joe Douglas said, you know what? I don't care for the distraction. I don't care for the issues. I don't care for the problems. I'm going to have my hands full with Aaron Rodgers as it is already. I don't need Elijah Moore lurking in the corner, sitting down with a sour face, saying, you know what? I'm not getting enough targets. I'm not involved in this offense. I need a trade. And so, you know what? Thinking about it that way, I like Elijah Moore. I think he has a ton of talent. I think he'll do well in Cleveland. But you know what? I think we as Jet fans and we as watchers of the Jets and just the Jet organization alone, I think they're going to be fine. So initially shock with Elijah Moore, but if you think about it a little bit deeper, it kind of makes sense. And like I said, sad to see a guy with that type of talent go, but Jets Nation, I think we're going to be okay. Let me know if you agree with me. Put some comments down below. And until next time, go Giants. And as always, go Jets.